Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Monday, May 13th, 2024. I am Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister here at Sunshine Cathedral.
I am Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin, the Executive Minister. Faith and religion can be complicated for the LGBTQ plus community. Surveys show that evangelical faith is the justification for the greatest attacks on the LGBTQ plus community.
I am Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Minister of Education. The Queer God Squad is going to explore our religious community. Let's explore the big news of the day and what it means to you.
I am Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, the Minister of Connections. This is live, and then we are available on demand. We are available on all smart televisions and your favorite social media.
At Sunshine Cathedral, we're here to tell you that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. As soon as I can get to it, because this is live and there's a technicality on the play. Here we are. This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. What it means to become a great gay Christian later in life. The Christian faith is a source of trauma for many in the LGBTQ plus community. In the Reddit community, GayChristians, one user discussed growing up Southern Baptist and the many issues he encountered. Being gay in the church was a challenge for him, from being forced into sessions with a Christian therapist to having his family and other church members continually using anti-gay religious remarks towards him. It greatly hurts his mental health. This caused him to resent the church, so he asked how do those gays with LGBTQ plus and become Christians later in life view the church and their religions not having experienced a childhood trauma. One user commented that because he grew up in a secular household, when he found progressive Christianity in his mid-20s, he was able to appreciate it and found hope and comfort in it. At Sunshine Cathedral, we have members from all walks of life, and many of them have also come to Christianity later in life. You know, I think when I read this about becoming gay Christian later in life, I can't think of a time that I probably wasn't some type of gay person.
Right?
And that has changed flavors as I have grown and to new understand about what it meant to be gay and to be Christian. And I think probably the most challenging thing was at one point the integration of all of that, because I often get asked, one person broke it down, goes, how can you be black? How can you be gay? And how can you be Christian? And for him, it was all three. Like, I don't know how to integrate all three of these things into one. And so, one of the part of the discussion was, you kind of have to take one of them at a time and deal with them and what they mean to you, and chase the rabbit, follow the rabbit about what it means to live as a black person, as a gay person, and with the black experience of growing up in the black church, and also what it means to be a Christian, because it's going to mean something different for everyone. I don't think there is one cookie cut answer for it. I think that is based on your own experience, whether you're in the church or out of the church, or whether you hop in the church and hop back out of the church, or whether you find it later in life, you hang out for a little bit and then leave it again. It's all okay. Mm-hmm. And I think the bottom line of that is just do you and what's best for you.
Yeah. I don't care if you call yourself Christian. We really don't ask people to identify any particular way here at Sunshine Cathedral. I mean, obviously, we are part of the progressive Christian milieu. We come out of the gay rights, gay and lesbian rights movement, as well as the progressive part of Christianity. But what we are our own community. Mm-hmm. We are the Sunshine Cathedral. And yes, probably most of us have identified as Christian. Probably most of us still do. Not everyone does. And that's fine. So if you're coming late in life to a thing, don't worry about the names. If someone is teaching the Bible in a way that you find energizing, if there's something about this Jesus character that you find compelling, if there's something about an open communion table where everyone shares together no matter what they believe about it, if you like that, have it. Mm-hmm. But if the word Christian is triggering, the hell with it. Don't use it. Find your people. And don't worry about the names and the traditions and the creeds and the rules. Once you find your people who believe in you, and they're not going to ask you to believe anything in particular, if they believe in you and you can believe in yourself and you're just following love and trying to be a good person. The last several episodes, we've talked about being a good LGBTQ Christian or a good, just be a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the rest will be, if you're a good person, you will be a good Christian, or a good Jew, or a good Buddhist, or a good atheist. If you're a good person, you'll be a good whatever. If you're a good person, you'll be a good queer, or a good straight person, or a good ally, or just be a good person. And find your people who are also just trying to be good people, and they're just trying to love and work together, while also being about justice and peace and joy and healing in the world. That's what it is. That's what Jesus was about. Jesus, who P.S. was never Christian, not one day in his life. Not one day in his life was he Christian. And so if Christians is a word you like, embrace it. It just means little Christ. It just means somebody's trying to be like the person we identified as the Messiah, the anointed one. But if that's not, be a spiritual person, be a religious person, be a spiritual humanist. That's one of the labels I like. Be a seeker, be a follower of Jesus.
Yep.
Say what you want to say. And you be the authority that decides what you are.
Yeah.
But if you can find a loving community to walk with you on the journey, that's what's up. Do that. And if it happens to be Christian and you want to claim that, fine. But that is not a deal breaker. Certainly not at the Sunshine Cathedral.
Right. And I think that the word Christian has just become trouble for folks. There's a lot of baggage that comes with that word, that term, Christian. For myself, I prefer follower of Jesus. I really do. If somebody asks me, am I a Christian? Yes. But what kind of Christian? What kind of Christian do you mean? I follow the message and the teachings of Jesus. The fact that I happen to be an out lesbian, that's part of that as well. But yeah, if Christian is troubling for you, find what works for you and go with that.
I grew up in a Northern African American Baptist church. My pastor was good friends to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I learned early on about social justice. I, for my entire life, believed that we had a calling to do the right thing for all people. Even with that background, I felt uncomfortable in the church, not because of anything that came from the pulpit so much, but from conversations within the church community. Our pastor never one time my whole life in that church ever condemned anything or anybody. But there was a discomfort that I could not explain. And I left the church. I left the church for a very, very long time, from 1977 until 1997, a generation. I was not in the church. So while I can say I grew up in the church, I can also say that I had to come back to the church. And what brought me back to a church was a progressive community that said to me that every part of me was important, every part of me was accepted and not just tolerated, because a whole lot of people go to those churches where they are tolerated. Oh, that's just Kevin. He'll be okay. One day he'll find Jesus. Find a community if you want to. You don't have to be a Christian, but if you believe that you want to be a Christian, that Christianity is something that you want to explore, then find a church that says to you right from the start, we are not going to fix you because you're not broken. Until you find that kind of a church, then you need to keep looking. And you hear us often talk about our church, because our church, we believe, is the church that accepts you just as you are from the minute that you walk in. I have never been to a church before where Wiccans, agnostics, atheists, Baptists, Buddhists, Jews, I have never been in a church before where every single person from minute one was accepted for who they are. And as they come into our church and they begin to live our church community, they say, oh my gosh, you're not hypocrites. You're actually doing what you said that you were going to do, and that is accepting me just as I am. So if it's not Sunshine Cathedral, either in person or every Sunday at 10:30, then find that community where you feel most comfortable, whatever it might be.
Amen.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's today with the Queer God Squad. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ plus community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's largest progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together, and we are all in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.